So yeah, so that's Transit Jam. We've been going since February, and we are a newspaper. We're not an activist organisation. So what we're doing here today is kind of on the edge of activism, I guess. But we're trying to keep it very pure. We're not sort of making angry noises. This is about data collection. So hi, welcome if you just joined. We've got a few coming in, so we've got 6 now. I believe we have a representative from the transport department. That would be Mr. Anthony Chan. Is that correct? And which is good.
Walkability unit, no?
From the walkability unit, indeed. So very welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there he is. If you want to jump in, Anthony or Wong Chung Tung or Shu Wong, any point. This is more of a workshop than a presentation, and we want to keep it live. If you have questions, jump in. I'll try and keep track of who's raised their hand, or if there's any, just jump in. Okay, we're a small group. We'll keep it very casual. Okay, so I think I'll just start a small presentation then, so you can see what's going on here. I'll just introduce what we're doing here, and then we'll have a technical workshop, and then we'll have some tips on data gathering, and we'll discuss briefly sort of the law and things like that. And then we'll have a discussion to see if people will have questions, I'm sure. The technical workshop, we're actually going to try and install this one-touch button onto your own phones using If That Then This. So that will be quite interesting to see if we can live everyone connect these things at the same time as part of our data collection. So moving on, why are we measuring this? Okay, the first reason is to make some noise. We want to raise awareness of the illegal parking issue. And the second is to actually collect useful data. Now, we all know illegal parking in Hong Kong is a mess. This is Queen's Road Central. This is a 3-lane road. Obviously, 2 lanes there are just parking. Illegal parking, blocking, it's a double yellow line, and it restricts the road to virtually nothing, to 1 lane if you're lucky. And in fact, what I haven't shown in this picture, the police are here. The police are just, a few 100 meters upstream. So they wander around, they do their thing. They haven't really solved the problem. So what we want to do is to actually get some hard data on this. If we look at what the police have been doing, this is the number of parking tickets given last year and this year. So you can see it really, illegal parking is not a priority, because when there was the unrest last year, perhaps understandably, but the police immediately dropped pretty much all illegal parking enforcement. So you see it really dipped down there. And now they have, to their credit, started aggressively ramping it up. And I think Q3 this year this year was actually a record-breaking year in terms of the number of parking tickets. But there is a problem. Now, what I spoke to Martin Cadman, who was the previous chief of traffic police, his idea was that illegal parking, while mundane in itself, if you don't tackle that, if you don't enforce that, then it leads to a change in driver culture. Drivers become entitled, they get away with the small things, and therefore they're more likely to do more dangerous things. So he actually had a theory that lower enforcement led ultimately to higher dangerous driving, higher number of deaths. And I tried to model that, but it's very hard to model because there's so many moving parts. And for example, the number of cars on the road versus the number of deaths is not a straight line, because if you get a certain number of cars, you increase congestion, you slow traffic down, which actually decreases deaths. So there's so many moving parts to this, and modeling it was difficult. But Martin Cadman was a police officer here for most of his career, and he was head of traffic police, and this was his opinion, was that enforcement of illegal parking was something that would improve driver culture and driver safety in general. And also, this sort of thing, we all see this. This is really why I got into this as an individual, bothered by the fact that I couldn't push my baby down the road. So because there's these cars blocking the pavements, and this is not only dangerous, as in generally it will push you onto the road, but it damages the sidewalk. These are heavy cars. and it reduces visibility. So cars can't see you coming, or you can't see cars. We all know, many of us know these things, but these are real issues. What we're Here we are. This is from Waltrout. This is a quote that Waltrout sent me a few days ago in an article, which is yet to be published. But this is very good. This summarizes what we can do as small individuals. Small data collected by humans can be as useful as big data to gain insights into both street level and citywide mobility issues. So what we're doing here as individuals can actually have quite a big impact. It's not as robust as a huge, multi-million-dollar ACOM consultancy survey, but it's small data, and there is a lot of value in that. We link all of this work to the Transport Complaints Unit, because the Transport Complaints Unit must count complaints that come in, and it publishes complaint data. So that has a lot of value for us as small activists. It can actually amplify what we're doing, because what we're doing gets reported. Look, so I invented this button back in fourth quarter 2019, and that quarter there were 2,132 complaints made to TCU, which was up 220%. And this is the graph of I don't know if you can see my mouse. No, I can't point to this, but this is the graph of complaints. The blue segment at the top is illegal parking complaints. And you can see in that quarter, it just shot up. And that was me, basically. So, I don't think a citizen, an individual citizen, has that much influence on a government graph. It's very hard to have that much influence on a government graph, I think. So you may say it's not that important, it's just one graph, but this is something that lawmakers can use, district councillors can use, activists can use, the government itself can use, and say, well, look, we have a problem here, and we're not really even touching the peak of the iceberg here. So that was just me, just one quarter, and not really working particularly hard at it either. It was quite easy to get that number using this button system that I'm going to demonstrate. TCU does actually did put in that report. It said among the 1,894 complaints, 1,241 were received from one complainant who made more than 100 complaints during the quarter. So they do sort of try and extract that work that I did from the data, sort of try to insinuate perhaps that it's an outlier, or there's this one crazy guy that's messing up all our nice data. So that's another reason to get more people involved in this, because if we have more people doing this, they can't get away with saying, well, it's just one guy that's making a lot of noise and disrupting our rosy image of the city that we like to portray. So that's why I want to get more people. Yes, so as Waltrout says, we need to increase the number of complainants. So imagine this says among the 6,000 complaints, 4,000 were received from 5 or 10 complainants. Then that doesn't sound as that's got a lot more weight, I think. So that's one way forward there. So the idea for this, just to give it some sort of scope, what we're doing here, it's going to run this quarter, fourth quarter 2020. I want to really test the user experience of this button idea. Is it something, I use it all the time, but I use it just like breathing now. But then I'm fanatical about this, and I'm not a normal person. So I want to see if the average. Wow. Well, Waltrout, you're not either, or Martin. But I want to see if the average person, who's bothered by these things, obviously you're committed. I mean, if you're here, then you're committed. But if you're not a raving transport activist, but if you're just someone that's bothered by this, is this something that you would use, and how is it used, and what's the user experience? Is it something that could be as easy as for the average person in the street, really, general person in the street to start using? Because that would be great. And then we also want to test in this quarter the data collection, because there are some limitations to the system that we're using in how the data goes, how the data is treated. So we do want to just test how we're scraping it out, how we're presenting it, how we're recording it, and how we're using it. I think I might mention this later, but just to be very clear, data privacy is very important. and that will be our number one priority. So even I would even be uncomfortable looking at some of this location data as an individual, knowing some of you other individuals. So I think whatever we do would be anonymized, even internally, where possible. And we would never publish any sort of location data or reporting data until we've got a sort of critical mass, and then it really is anonymous. So just to be clear on that, the data privacy, we haven't got a formal data code yet, but this is a priority. So a brief note on the law. What is illegal parking? In Hong Kong, all parking, anywhere where there's street lamps, so pretty much anywhere in the city, all parking is actually illegal unless permitted. And that's different from many other cities around the world where parking is legal everywhere unless there's a no parking sign. Hong Kong does it the other way around. In theory, a very good way around, that it's completely illegal everywhere unless it says parking here. So a parking bay or a parking meter, which is paid, unpaid parking meter parking would be illegal. So all parking that you see pretty much is illegal parking. And don't be afraid to say that's illegal parking, even though it looks quite innocuous. It might be parking on the side of a street, which is very wide and it's not blocking anything and not really in anyone's way, still illegal parking. And just to be clear, because I get a lot of questions on this, we need to differentiate between what's illegal parking and what are moving offences, such as loading on double yellow lines or stopping in bus stops. That's all illegal parking as well, but there could be another offence on top, but we're not recording those. So just, I'll answer questions on this later, might be the best way. But to be clear, we want to get illegal parking. We're not trying to get prosecutions. This won't actually lead to any specific prosecutions. We won't have sufficient evidence, and parking tickets can only be given by police and traffic wardens, not by even photographs that you send in later. So we can discuss that later, but so that's just to give you an idea of the law. If you're wondering, is that car illegally parked? Chances are, unless you see a P on a blue plate, then yes, it is. Okay. So, this is the police Hong Kong Island dash cam reporting number worth. I just wanted to put that in a presentation. We don't really have time to talk about it, but this is for reporting stuff that can be prosecuted by video, such as loading on double yellow lines, parking in bus stops, yellow box offences. So I'll just put that in. Okay. So we're now going to move to ifthatthenthis.com, which is the workflow system we're going to use to create these buttons that will go on our phones and will be a sort of one touch. Let me show you. I've deleted, I've removed all my buttons so that I can show you adding one. So we're going to use that. And what if that then this will do, when you press the button, it will email the date, time and position, your position, to info@tcu.gov.hk. That's the Transport Complaints Unit. And data@transitjam.com, which is us, which we will do something also with that data. So moving on, this is the fun part, I guess, because I have no idea how this is going to go. This is the part where we set up our new applet. Okay, and I'm just going to move that out of the way. Is everyone with me so far? And does anyone have any questions?
Can you just mention or tell us the user experience of using this thing? It's a button on, it's an app, a button on the phone, and it's like alongside the other apps.
Yeah, on iOS, it's a widget now. So if you know iOS, you have widgets which are, so there. I'm on my home screen. I just slide here, and the buttons will be there, and then you just press the button, and that activates the widget, and it does everything else in the background. So you don't need to do anything else. On Android. On Android, then you actually will set up, the button will actually be on your home screen with all the other buttons. So actually, I think that's better. I think Android's probably better. I haven't got one to show you, unfortunately, but
so I have downloaded the IFTTT app.
Yeah.
And then?
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
No, that's what we're doing. Very simple. From here, that's a good start. Okay, so if everyone's got that app, have you also got an account? Have you registered?
Oh,
Because
good
that's
question.
I have.
Okay, Martin has good. 3 points.
I have an account. Yeah.
Okay, good. Everyone else? We've got some other participants here who are. I'm just worried I'm missing anyone coming in any waiting rooms or anything, but it seems that everyone's here.
Maybe you check it. So
Yeah,
basically, so we have to download that app, IFTTT.
3 T's.
Right. And
So
then,
it stands if that, then if this, then that.
If this, then that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the easy part.
Yeah. So you download that, and then so you want to create an account with that. I think you'll need to.
Yeah.
To register and whatnot. Now
okay.
I'm doing this online on the web. I think it might be easier to do it on the web because I haven't tried it to do it on the phone. So when you've got an account, you log in to ifttt.com, and then you can handle it from there. And that's what I'm doing with this.
So I have an account, and it sends me weather forecasts every day at 7 a.m., which I actually don't want.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So that's an applet.
It's an applet.
Yeah. You could disable that, or you could have it, only send you a weather forecast if it's raining and things like that. It's very clever, but
I think it's kind of automatic.
Yeah, people use this for all sorts of things, like literally, if it's raining, turn my lights on, or order me a pizza when I get back from the gym. And so you can you can use it for lots of clever things. And it was originally a sort of nerdy programming thing. And then it became a more smart home thing. So it's all connected to lights and fridges and, smart home appliances, which I think lost it a lot of favor in the programming community, but it's still useful. The button is very useful because it's a button that sits on your phone. You press it and it can do something. And it can record your date, time, and position. It can send that to an email. It can save it to a spreadsheet, anything like that. So So
then if you click on that applet, if this, then that. Yeah. So
so I'm going to go back to the, I think this is the home page. Create. So you want to create. I'm going to create. I'm just going to run. I don't know if you don't have to do this, live with me. It'd be great if someone could just check me, whether it works or not. But okay, I want to just show you really how simple it is. So if this, I'm going to click add, and I'm going to search for button. Okay, this is the key. So the button widget. There we go. And that's a trigger. So I'm going to choose that. Then that add, and then I'm going to search. Well, I use Gmail, so I'm going to use. You could also search for email or Gmail. If you've got Gmail, I think that works very well. If not, then you use your email provider. Choose an action. Send an email. That's it. Now, so really, we're getting into the heart of it now. This is. You can still see what I'm doing, right? Yeah. Okay.
Send an email. Sorry, I'm doing this live now. So.
Okay, great. So the email will go to info@tcu.gov.hk, and we will CC. Scroll down a bit. This is very live here. CC data@transitjam.com. And we don't need to be CCC. And the subject line, so this is where you start to get fields. Okay, the subject line, anything in these curly brackets is a field. So you don't really want to play with those or change the text in those. But now, sorry, I'm off screen here. So I will say illegal parking spotted at, occurred at. And that will be the date and time. Okay, and then we've got the body, and it will be this share URL, location map image URL is a link to the location. So I don't normally put that in because TCU still uses Lotus Notes, which is something from the 1950s, I believe, or thereabouts. And When I first started doing this, a lot of the emails I was sending to them were getting clipped automatically, and they were just getting blank emails because there was something too funny in there that Lotus Notes didn't like. But I'm actually going to leave this in now because we want the, sorry, no, we are going to take that out. We're going to leave an attachment, which is the location map image URL, because we'll need that for our own data purposes. So I'm going to delete that. And then we're just going to write an email to TCU, and it's going to say, dear TCU, I have noted, sorry, my typing is very poor, noted illegal parking at, right. And then you just want to, you know, populate this thing. Occurred at, that's the date. And then you can put at location. And then this is the smart part where you can add, you can go to add ingredient. Hang on. Add ingredient. You can add the latitude, comma space, add ingredient, longitude, full stop. Put a break in. And that's it. So now you have sent an email, or this will send the email to TCU, which has the illegal parking or whatever. I think Martin was talking about close passes by cars when you're on the bike. So you just change the text. You know, I was nearly killed by a car occurred at location, latitude, longitude, right? And you know, and so you can do as many of these as you want for as many different things. And I've used them for engine idling, which was very useful, and actually got EPD to start recognizing some hotspots. I also do it for illegal garbage dumping. So yeah, so you can use it for pretty much whatever you want it. And then it probably is a good idea to put you need to put BRs in. It's a little bit HTML-y. Put your name. And, you know, so they know you're a real person, which I think helps the validity of the thing. Just put my number. I usually put my whole address and everything like that, but just for this purposes, we'll just do that. And that's it. And create action. Oops. Now, if I scroll down here a bit, seem to be losing. I don't know why I can't see the continue down there. Hang on, let me just bump this up. There we are. And then continue. And then I'm going to call it, actually, I'm going to call it test because this one is not my normal one. Test TCU parking. Okay, and then finish. Okay, that's the job done. And it's connected and it's ready to go. Now, so the beauty now, because I've got this on my phone, I've got the app on my phone. If I now, doing this very live, trusting the system, if I now go to my widgets, you'll see the Headley index there. It hasn't quite popped up yet. So open then this on your phone, just open it and it will sort of load in whatever you've got. You don't need to open it every time. And then it should, of course, doing it live, it's dangerous. It's never going to work straight first time. Got it. Okay. Test TCU parking. Right, so anyway, so I've loaded, so if that, then this is now open on my phone, and that's the widget we just created, is in the app. It's not so useful in the app because you have to open the app, and you know, you want, the whole point of this is to make it easy. So once you've opened the app, hopefully in theory, then there it is. I don't know, it's probably a bit out of focus, but that little thing there is a button. And then all you got to do, I will send an email to TCU. By the way, Transport Department, if you're watching, you know, don't come after me for illegally reporting non-existent illegal parking. I'm going to press the button here. Okay. I will send them an email to say this was a test. Did I press it? Okay. I just pressed it and you get a little click. It's a nice little confirmation click. And then if we go to data@transitjam.com, oh, look, there it is. It just came in. So that's the email from me. Oh, hang on, wrong screen. There we are. And that's the email that we just created, really. That's how it looks to them. So they can then do all the work with the, you know, the location and the date and time.
Yes, but then there is no action. I mean, then you know there's illegal parking, so you can basically take a 300,000 illegal parking every day. So, but what is the action? Because I mean, it's just like
Well, okay, first,
a
yeah.
statement that there is illegal parking.
Yes,
but
yes,
the
yes.
car-
So, yeah, the car is still there. So, no, this doesn't remove the car, obviously.
No,
And by the time,
can we do something like if this, then the car explodes?
yes, yes, yes. I think that might be against the national security law, but
I
something
know.
like that.
Sorry, which is a joke.
Yes, I see. I know. Yeah, no, that is a drawback, obviously. So I think because this goes to TCU, which then records it and then takes action. And in the same way that 1823 will take action, really what they will do is just forward this to the police, and then the police will, obviously not do anything. And there's not much they can do with this anyway, because by the time they actually get around to processing it, with that date, time, and location, there's no photo, there's no license plate. I had experimented with a photo button, so I could actually send a photo of the illegally parked car. But the camera widget on that app is actually not very reliable, and half the time it wouldn't open. So, the whole point of this has to be easy to use. Like, you can literally open your phone and press the button and then it's done. So no, it doesn't remove the illegal parking. As I said before, really all this does is goes into a database at TCU and it's counted. So I think the fact that it's counted is important, because then the numbers, if we're all doing this, the numbers will go up. And
so
then,
it gives you maybe a snapshot. If you do it regular, if you have like 10 people in one district, you can get an idea on how extensive is the illegal parking in that district.
Yeah, and it does look very impressive. When I used to do it, instead of an email, I would do a spreadsheet, which is another way to go. And you can very easily map that, obviously, then on Google Maps, and you can see, the hotspots. The only limitation is it's not genuine hotspots because it depends where the user's walking. The user's not surveying the area up and down in any systematic way. The user is me walking to school, or you walking to whatever, to the school. So it's not systematically recorded data. So I would still be careful of using maps to say this is where the problems are. It's more like this is where our users are walking. But because there's illegal parking everywhere, I mean, we'll get more of an impression of where people walk than where are the hotspots, I think. So that's a limitation. And so really the fact that it's being measured is important. And TCU sends me batches of emails every other day, hundreds, to say, we have got your complaint. We have passed it to the police. The police will take follow-up action. And of course, that's it, at the end of the story. I'm happy with that. I'm actually happy with that, because I want to get the numbers up. And this is a start to see, can we get a sort of any people using this as well? And can we start to get those numbers really so high that we've got to now put more priority into this? So that's it, really. I think that's it. I would welcome any more questions from anyone else or any other participants. I would be very interested in what Transport Department thinks about this. Is it something that is welcomed by Transport Department? I know officially TCU will say, we thank you for your bringing this subject to our attention, but what's the real? Is it viewed as a little bit annoying? And actually, I know it's a little bit annoying. That's half the point. So,
if I may comment, I think it is useful for getting an overall impression. And the numbers go up, but ultimately, of course, combining it with mapping and having like a really more systematic approach would be something that would be really useful for the city planners and for TD and for the walking community.
Yeah,
if we had really kind of a more systematic overview on which streets are continuously blocked, and things like that, But that's maybe, I think the first step is good to do it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I think you're right, and I think if we did a more systematic, then start actually looking at one district and walk, doing a specific 10 of us are going to walk in a grid and record over a specific time.
Yes.
Different times a day, like that. Then we've got something quite useful. So I absolutely agree. Absolutely. So this is just a sort of a slightly different and this is not academic either. This is real. This is feeding into the government numbers and making some noise. It's yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
but I'm interested in the academic also.
Yes, I know. Yes, good. So let's see if there's an interface there, and hopefully there is, because
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone got any questions? I do appreciate you coming.
Sorry, did you say that you can use this button to send photos of the license plate?
Yes, you can, and I have been doing that with cars. If you get a pro account with then this, you can do multi-step widgets, because on the free account you can only do one. So it's if this then that. But if you've got a pro account, which I have, you can also well, actually, even with a free account, yes, you could send a photo. But as I said, the camera widget, I could just show you that actually, Anthony, while we're here. If I create this, hang on, I've gone all, I've lost my screen, hang on. Sorry, won't be a sec. Right, if this add, right, if you search for camera widget.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So add, right, so if any new photo using the camera widget, then Gmail, send an email. Let's just do that very quickly. I'll just send it to myself. That's it. Okay, and then create action. Right. So I've done that now. So let's see if that's popped up on my screen. So Anthony, the only thing was that it was a little bit unreliable. Okay, it's actually not working at all. I don't know if that actually created that then. I didn't see it pop up. Let me turn another one on. I've got this car block one on. Okay.
This temperature.
Oh, here we are. Continue. Oh, okay. Review. So I'll call that. Sorry, Anthony. Lots of screens here. Photo. I'll just call that photo 1. Okay. So that's as simple as that. So that will then send a photo that you take. Yeah, there it is. It's come on my phone now. So, okay. So I don't know if you can see, I've got 2 buttons now. So if I press the photo button, press it properly. There we are. Okay, then the camera comes up and you can take a photo of all of us having fun at our, boom, there. Now, so the downside to this, sometimes the camera doesn't work. It just comes up with a black screen. Sometimes it takes forever to send, which isn't good. So those things are not so good for the data collection. And I would love it because, yeah, you could obviously, I did this to my other Gmail, to my other account. Let me just forward that to myself. Sorry.
What are you?
Yeah, sorry.
What must Martin is?
Don't worry, we got it.
Martin's got a child, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mine are at school, so this is all good. Okay, I'm just going to forward this photo to this one that's connected to the screen.
But then how do you combine the location data and the picture?
Oh, that's all, because you can do the same. So the email that you send with the picture is, you can refine the same way. Sorry, it shouldn't be this hard. You know what? It's actually going to be easier to change the email address. Sorry, we're just running a bit over here. If people have got
yeah,
a few minutes.
I think we probably got. I think you're there. I mean, the first one worked. The live demo.
Yeah.
So the photo can work as well. We got it. I got it.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
So
okay.
All right.
Great. So
yeah, so thanks everyone for coming, and I think that's everything. So please follow up with me, james@transitjam.com, and we will end the meeting here. Oh, sorry, Anthony, does that answer your question a little bit?
Oh yes, yeah, that would do. Thank you.
Okay, please follow up with me if you want to know more about that, because I think the photo could be very useful, and the license plate, you know, with some AI to detect license plates, then we, you know, then we're really talking. But that's a little way down the line. So, okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you all. Thanks very
Thank you
much.
very much.